Welcome back to my page. I'm back again with another sit down video. I really enjoyed doing the vlogs, and I think I'm going to do some more, but I wanted to come back and sit down and talk with y'all. And this time we're getting back to talking about work, talking about careers. This particular video is, as you can see by the title, you graduated, check, congratulations to you. You passed your boards. Congratulations to you, girl. And you got the job. Oh, big congratulations. Now what? So, you think that you've been through like the hardest of the hardest part, and you have. You went through school, like that's definitely the hardest part. The boards, also one of the hardest parts. And getting the job, also another hard part. And so now everything should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. You should just be starting to work, but it's not that simple. Now, if you are already a nurse practitioner, then you already know these things. But if you are not, and you are in nursing school, thinking about being a nurse practitioner, you're finishing up nurse practitioner school, and you're starting to gear up for these steps. First of all, I have tips for how to pass your boards on my previous videos. But here we are now where you've already done all those things. So you can watch it now, write these tips down, or come back when you get to this point. And so after you've done all those things, the next thing is to prepare to start working. Every facility, every job that you work at is going to be different. So the things that I'm about to list is just a general thing. Most places you will need this, and you will need to do these things. And this is just kind of getting you prepared. And once I start listing off the things, don't feel like overwhelmed or intimidated, because your job, most jobs, I can't really speak for every job, but most jobs are very helpful with getting onboarding and helping you with getting credentialing and things like that. So let's talk about it. After you've passed your boards and you got the job and you've succeeded and passed the interview and everything, you get your offer letter. Hopefully you've negotiated salary. One thing that I've learned is negotiate. Even if you're a brand new graduate, do your research, find out, what general nurse practitioners are getting paid, and you negotiate. They're going to offer you something. What's the worst that's going to happen? If you do negotiate, I promise you, no one's going to be like, oh no, we're rescinding your offer. You don't have the job anymore. Like, no, they're either going to tell you, yes, we can accommodate your request, or no, or they're going to try to meet you in the middle. So don't lowball yourself. Just try. Even if you're a little scared, just go a couple of $1,000s more. And this is just a bonus tip here. And most nurse practitioner jobs, especially neonatal, because that's the field I work in, so I can't speak on every field, and I could be totally wrong. But so far as I know, most of them are salary based. So you're going to be offered a salary for the year, so like a yearly pay. And so I say, and if you are offered hourly, if it's out of your comfortability, or if you just don't know, just go up a couple of thousand. If they're giving you just a salary, or if they're giving you an hourly, go up a couple of dollars, and just see what they say. Like, you can only be told yes or no, or meet in the middle and get a little bit more than what you were first initially offered. So it won't hurt. Especially do your research for, again, what in your area that you live in your state that you live in, what the nurse practitioners are getting paid in that area. So that's just a bonus tip. So you got your offer letter. Now you're negotiating your pay. You found out what your pay is going to be. Welcome to your big girl job. Now, and so the next thing you're going to do is, and you're going to hear from your supervisor. You're going to hear, most companies have like different people. You're going to hear from HR. You're going to hear from benefits. You're going to hear from, and then usually like there's like a credentialing officer or someone and they kind of like in alignment with HR, but they like specialize in specifically the credentialing part. And so this person is going to reach out to you. What is credentialing? It just is it is a process that gets you certified within the facility that you're going to work for to practice there. Within our field, there's a bunch of legalities. You can't just come out straight up taking care of patients without having all the appropriate paperwork, all the appropriate certifications, all the appropriate signatures and things like that, especially for like making you liable, because you are a liability because you have lives in your hands. And so that's what credentialing is just getting you authorized to practice at a facility. This is also a lot of these things may or may not be the case. So make sure you ask even in your interview, but you already got the job, right? But just in case you're not there yet in your interview, what's the credentialing process like? Do I have to do it for the hospital and the company I work for? So there are some places, for sure in Texas, a lot of the nurse practitioners don't work for the specific hospital. They work for a different company. It has a contract with hospitals. And so that's how it was at my first job and in my current job. I don't necessarily work I work at the hospital, but I don't work for the hospital. I work for a different company, so I have a different employer. So I go through them and they get me credentialed for the company I work, like through that company that I work for, because that's who pretty much is taking this risk on me to practice under their name. But I also have to be credentialed at that hospital as well. This pretty much gives me privileges and have privileges to practice at the hospital. So a lot of times that's the situation. I don't know that that's always. I'm pretty sure there are some nurse practitioner neonatal nurse practitioner jobs, because you're usually in the hospital with those, that you are employed and work, like employed by the hospital and work for the hospital. I just have not experienced that yet. I'm pretty sure it's probably a little bit less steps because it's all for the one hospital. So anyways, they'll reach out to you for credentialing and getting you privileged to work at a facility. Credentialing is a lot of paperwork. I know for sure, like big package. Of course, they're asking you for, it's like you're applying all over again, kind of. They're asking you for your job history, your resumes, and everywhere is different. Some of these things I list may or may not happen for you, but this is just giving you a generalization. And so they need you to sign all these forms and answer these questions. So let's just talk about it. I know I've already talked about it, but let's talk about it. As I know, I got my notepad because mom brain is real, and so I'll forget things or I get all over the place. So I'm going to start referring to my notepad because I feel like I'm getting all over the place. But first, let me take a sip of my coffee. If you got a drink, take a sip of your drink. Also, cheers. Okay. These are out of order. They're not in any particular order, but so one of the first things that you will have to do, and again, don't feel intimidated. I'm giving you just basic information, but you're going to be instructed and guided through the actual process. One of the first things that you're going to be guided and instructed to do is to go onto the DEA website. What the DEA is pretty much a registration that allows providers to prescribe like controlled substances to patients. So certain medications, but controlled substances to patients. So when you go on the website, you're going to apply. You're going to, fill out the application that you're required to fill out. I think there's certain information that you have to enter, like a doctor's name, who you'll kind of be prescribing underneath, because we still have to practice under physicians. So your facility will usually tell you like what to list and what specifics to list, as far as like you're going to need an address, you're going to need to put like a doctor's name and some other things. I've done this a while ago, so I don't remember all the specifics, but I do know that I needed some information from the facility that I worked for. And so you'll go on there and fill that out. Now you do have to pay for the DEA, and I can't remember the price. I feel like, don't quote me on this. But I want to say it was like $300 or $600. Like it was one of those two numbers, and I can't remember. It was a number, and I was like, "You want me to pay for this? You want me to pay for this?" Don't be alarmed. I can't say all. I'm not going to say all in any of this because I don't know. I've never worked at every single facility. You know what I mean? So I could be telling you something totally wrong. So I don't want to tell you something wrong. So I'm going to use words most. Most facilities will either just cover the cost for you. So they'll tell you, just fill out your application, submit it. Don't worry about the cost. They will handle that part, or you submit the cost and they will reimburse you for it. So every facility is different, but I do know that 9 times out of 10, you don't have to really come out of your pocket to pay. Like you're going to either get the money back, or you don't even have to come out the pocket at all. So don't feel intimidated when you see that cost or that receipt or whatever at the end of doing the application. And you're probably going to get a heads up by your facility. They'll be like, it's gonna we're gonna pay for it. Don't worry. Like they'll give you a heads up of like what's to come with that. So be prepared to apply for a DEA. Take notes, write these things down. This way, because it's intimidating, the credentialing package, some of them are electronic now. Some places still have you print out this whole huge thing. My first job, I had to print out a whole huge thing. I hated it. And mail it in. We mailing stuff, and I can't even fax it to you, girl. It's 2021. It was 2021 at that time. I'm like, every place is different. That was 2021. It's a new time. In 2024, I did it electronically. So I'm hoping they're all electronic, but I'm just giving you a heads up. Be prepared. They're going to ask you a lot of questions, a lot of stuff to keep up with. So these are just This video is just to prepare you so that when you get into the notions, you're not overwhelmed. You already are like, okay, Angel already warned me about this. I already have a heads up. I'm already ready. So yeah, this is to help you, but it's not going to ease it. It may ease your mind, but it's not going to, make it faster or anything like that. Also, heads up, the credentialing process can take up to a few months. So be prepared for that as well. In this video, the tips I'm giving and giving you a heads up, I'm hoping you will take heed to this, and it could help speed things up if you already are on your stuff and have your things prepared. So this will give you some tips in that area. So we talked about the DEA. So be prepared to do that. You cannot do it before you hear from your facility. So don't try to go to the website and fill it out. Do it yourself. Just wait for you to get the instructions from the facility you're going to be working for. The next thing that you're going to need to apply for, which again, you're going to get the instructions from your facility. I don't remember the application being too crazy. I feel like this one is pretty simple. Is an MPI number, and it's pretty much a national provider identification number. This I think it's like a HIPAA, and it just, every provider, even the doctors have this. Even the doctors, I'm sure they have a DEA as well, but every provider has an MPI number, and it's just something like, it's your identification as a provider. Like, it's like a social security number in provider world. So it's not that deep, but this is just like what identifies you in the provider world. You have your own personalized identification number. So that's what this is. So you'll be applying for that as well. Again, just wait for instructions from your facility before you do it. Don't just be going on MPI, just doing stuff. Make sure you got all the correct information, because I don't remember precisely what they asked for, but don't just be out here willy-nilly doing stuff. Just wait, but have this on your notepad. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to do my MPI. Be prepared for that, because I do know for sure everyone needs this. Next thing, this is something you can do, and I'm telling you to do this as soon as you get a chance. Just like to ease everything for you, is to gather all of your current certifications that you do have copies of them, print them out. Be prepared, have it in your email, have a document saved to your computer, like have it in different locations, so that however they ask for it, because they're going to ask for it, and it's probably going to be multiple times. I know for sure your facility is going to ask for it. They're going to ask for it as a part of the credentialing process. So they're going to need that. So have all your certifications ready. So by certifications and documents, you're going to need they're going to want a license. They're going to want your social security number / card. They're going to want that. So like, those are simple things. Start getting copies and gathering that information up now, ahead of time. They're going to want your NCC license. So when you pass your boards, go ahead and print that out, make a couple of copies, download it onto your computer, put it in your email, like put it in places that's easily accessible for you. So they're going to want your NCC license, a copy of that. They're going to want a copy of your nursing license. You will have to keep your nursing license up to date. Your nursing license and your nurse practitioner license end up like coming together and being one. So when you go, it's not so hard. Like, you have to do two different things. Like, when you go online to renew your NP license, you'll also be renewing your nursing license. So that's a good thing, but have that handy. Have your nurse practitioner / nursing license handy. I don't think they need your nursing license per se, like your registered nurse license, but I do know that they need your advanced practice practitioner or nurse practitioner license, which is tied in with your nursing RN license, at least in Texas. I don't know every state for sure, but I'm pretty sure every state is the same, but don't quote me. But you're going to need that. So go ahead, get copies. However, you go to nursery, nursys.com. That like has everything together. So go to that website. It's very good. I use that. So you can go ahead and get your license together. You already have that. Make sure that your BLS and your NRP are updated. If it's about to expire, maybe start working on getting that renewed. And then if it's not expired, go ahead and get your copies of both of those items together and have copies of it. Again, hard copies and copies online. That way you have access to it. Have your CEUs together. So if you have any recent CEUs, be having those together and just put them somewhere just in case. You're not going to need it for credentialing, especially your initial credentialing. You're not going to need it right now for the most part, unless like your nursing license is about to expire, which it shouldn't be, because then you got your NP. But just have your CEU certificates somewhere handy, and then keep putting them handy, and then be prepared to be getting CEUs throughout the time. Like, it doesn't stop. Continuing education is a forever thing in this field. You have opportunities to get a certification. Get it, because you're going to need it when it's time to, first of all, renew your credentialing, when it's time to do your NCC. Like, you're going to need these CEUs. So that's that, like, as far as paperwork. So just try to start getting all that stuff together. I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else particular. Let me grab my laptop, because I actually have a document saved literally just for MP. And also, get your resume. Have your resume somewhere handy, because if I can recall, they wanted my resume as well. So have your resume as well. So let me make sure one more time I'm going through everything. So you need your resume, you need your DEA, you need your NCC certification, you need your updated NRP certification, you need your nurse practitioner license, you need your MPI number, and then I have a bunch of CEUs down here, and then I have a procedure list. Yeah, as a student coming into the MP world, you won't need procedures just yet, because you're going to have to start fresh at your facility and get procedures, and that goes into that. So when you do start getting procedures, whatever paperwork your facility has or however, keep your procedures somewhere, like keep up with your procedures. That way, when it's time to get credentialed, you'll have them, because you'll need to have a certain amount of procedures each year to stay privileged or eligible to do them without having someone watch over you. So after, obviously, you just started the job, the first few times you're doing procedures, you're going to have somebody, a preceptor, someone watching you and doing it with you and training you, but they're going to sign off. Once you're signed off, you're in the clear to go do those procedures without anyone watching you. And then when it's time to get re-credentialed, you need to have a certain amount per year on your solo to show, like, I'm still able to do these procedures. I'm still doing them. I'm still up to par with the skills, and I'm not behind or anything like that. I have the education necessary to continue to do these procedures. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I sound like I'm talking a foreign language, because you won't know until you do it. So once you see what I'm talking about and you do it, you'll understand and get it. So with that being said, I have literally on my computer a folder called NMP documents, and I have everything saved. And anytime it's time for me to renew something, I just delete the old one and put the new, most updated version in this folder. That way, whenever it's needed, whenever it's time to be credentialed or whatever, I have everything. In addition to that, on my phone, if you have an iPhone, and I'm pretty sure it's 2025, the Androids have caught up to this. If you have whatever phone you do have, there's a note section. In my notes section, I have all my licenses, like, listed, the name, if I have a number associated with it, like your RN license number or MP license number, I have that, and then I have when it expires in there, and I keep that in my phone. That way, I know, like, oh, every now and then I check it, like, oh, this is about to expire, I need to renew this. This is very good information for you, because again, I call this your big girl / big boy job. You're not a nurse anymore. Like, yeah, your nursing job is your big boy, big girl job, but like, the hospital and the management for being a nurse is very good at keeping up with all the things that we need to renew and that's about to expire. Not to say that as an MP, they're not good at it, but like, you're really more responsible for yourself. Like, they send reminders, but I don't know. They send them reminders kind of close, like, but you just want to keep up with your own stuff, because also, like, with the hospital, depending on where you work at, well, my previous hospital as a nurse, like, whenever all of our NRP was expiring, we all had our NRP on the same schedule. So they just had a whole classes for everybody. With this, you have to look up your own classes and keep up with that yourself for the most part. Just find a place to have what your licenses are, the numbers, the certifications, etc., and when they expire, so you know to be renewing it, or that it's almost time to renew it, so you don't get behind on those things. The last couple of things I have is just like some little throw out there. Some things I did. You ain't got to do it. You can wait or do what you want to do. I was excited, and as a nurse, we had to wear navy blue scrubs. With my first job as a nurse practitioner, you can wear whatever color scrubs you want. I was hyped, y'all. So I was like, oh, I'm about to give me some new scrubs. I already had a couple of them from clinical, but I was excited to just like go buy some new scrubs. Now, if you want to be smart and wait for your start date and then buy the scrubs, because a lot of times, a lot of facilities, not all, reimburse you for even scrubs. So you could save your receipt. You could wait till you have a start date. You don't want to do it before, because then they'll be like, oh, you wasn't even working for us yet. You know what I mean? So you could just like, wear your little raggedy scrubs the first few days. I'm just kidding. But wear whatever scrubs you already have. And then when you start, go ahead, put the scrubs in your cart. When you start, go ahead and order them scrubs, save your receipt, and get your money back and get reimbursed for it. So that's the real tip that I recommend. I think I was just like really excited, and we all are excited. Girl, if you got a couple of extra bands to buy one set of scrubs, treat yourself. Like, you deserve it. So it's okay. You'll get the money back anyway. And this is also a good interview question. Do you get reimbursed for scrubs? Do you get reimbursed for CEUs? Do you get reimbursed for conferences and things like that? Ask those questions and find out like the amount so you don't go overboard. Okay, number one, bonus tip number two, and this is for funsies, and you don't have to do this also because you're going to learn plenty more when you start, and this is to review common concepts. The main thing I would say review, and this is like a week before you start. Like, if you got a month before you start, girl, chill out, enjoy, relax, be proud of yourself. But like a week before you start, maybe start reviewing just like some vent management, some gases, some RDS, like, because you're going to get that. Like, that's number one top diagnosis in NICU is RDS, respiratory distress, TTN, those type of things which you're managing, especially if it's a level 3 or 4 NICU. So if you kind of have just that to make you feel a little bit better, like, oh, you did something to prepare, but you don't have to do any of that if you're not a nerd like me. I was a nerd reviewing stuff, and but really, like, that didn't even help. I learned more from actual situations on the floor and like retaining that information. But that's just a tip. You can do it if you want to, if it makes you feel better, if you feel like you need to do something. Also, I would buy like a notebook, like a small little notebook, something like this, or even smaller. Actually, I had a smaller one. It was like half this size. And have it with you in clinical. I mean, not in clinical, girl. You graduated at work. And like, first of all, when you get a chance, like, obviously keep up if you like have any downtime and you remember any diagnosis, any things like that, start writing stuff down, write protocols down. If they don't have like certain protocols already printed out, write it down, and then transfer like the common protocols and things like that to a note section in your phone. That way you always have it. You're not carrying around a notebook to do for in the beginning, like, so you're not always on your phone and you can't really keep up. Just have a notebook to put all that stuff down. Also, write questions down, like if you're rounding and the doctor mentions something but you're not trying to interrupt it, or if you're talking to your preceptor and she says something but you don't want to interrupt, or you guys are experiencing a code and you can't just like, oh, excuse me, hold on, pause the code, I have a question. Like, no, have your little notebook and just be writing stuff down, like, why did they give that dose, why did they give da-da-da-da, like, what's the bike card for? Like, if you have particular questions, just write it down. That way at the end of the day you can ask your preceptor the questions that you have. So have a little notebook just for things like that that'll help you. And then at some point you can do it in that day or later, which is what I did. And actually, I may do a video. I have a whole note section of just like a bunch of stuff that helped really, really, really helped me those first few years. And I still go back to that note, and it's super duper long. And it got to the point where I was sharing it with other nurse practitioners, like new ones, about stuff to just help you when you start. So you don't have to always ask. Like they say, use your resources. You already got your own personalized resource right there on your phone. So that's another little tip. And the last one is congratulations, girl. Enjoy your last little bit of freedom before you start back working after school. Celebrate, go on a trip, do what you want, have a good time. Don't stress about it. Know that you always got people that have your back, and people that was before you that did it, people that's gonna come behind you that did it. So even in the moment when you're getting all these freaking emails and you're getting all these, we need this from you, and trust me, you're gonna get annoyed with the credentialing process. They're gonna be like, oh, I need another copy. You're gonna be like, I already sent that. You're gonna feel like you sent the same thing 3 or 4 times. Just be prepared. But if you have all your stuff organized and ready, label your emails. If you have questions, reach out to the person you have questions for. You got this, girl. You got this. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm yelling. This is my first time using a mic. Did you see the mic? You probably didn't see the mic. Anywho, sorry if I feel like I'm yelling. Well, I'm forgetting I got the mic and I'm yelling like I'm trying to project for the phone, and I don't have to do that no more. So my bad. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in and watching my video. Make sure you like, Comment below if you have other tips, questions. Please subscribe for more videos. Again, I know you guys have seen a array of different type of videos, and it's just life in the 30s, baby. We out here working with careers. I got tips on that. We out here moms. I got tips on that. We out here wives. I got tips on that. I'm not perfect in none of these areas, but I'm here to share my experience and like the things that I've experienced and that has helped me. And I'm not open books with some privacy. Like, I'm not going to give you all the tea, but I'm willing to share even my mistakes that I feel like have helped me. Told you about IVF. We on this journey with God. So like, you're going to get a little bit of it all, sis. So subscribe and hit the bell button so that you don't miss a beat when it comes to anything. You know what I mean? Even if it's something that in that moment don't pertain to you, it might later, you might help somebody else out. So yes, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button if you want notifications. I think this is gonna be my last video I do this, because if you don't know by now to follow me on Instagram at Signed Angels of May, right there on the screen, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but I'll also be putting in my description as well. So y'all will find this. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys with the next video. Bye.